Yektunal, nahanuto ka na kakashultik, and welcome to my video vlog. It's been a long time, hasn't it? It's been 3 years, but guess what? I'm back. Not only that, but I'm back and I'm gonna make videos on Native Americans. And my first episode, my first series, I'm gonna make 3 different series. Starting with this one, Native Americans in video games, and my intro starts right about now.
Dale indio, dale, dale campesino, dale indio, dale, dale viejo amigo, dale indio, dale campesino, dale indio, dale viejo amigo, dale indio, dale campesino, dale indio, dale viejo amigo, deja que el instante que te raza sin tu ombligo, donde cada piedra y cada leche es tu testigo.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and I'm sorry you guys, for those 300 something subscribers that subscribe to me. Sorry I have not made any videos. I deleted most of my videos, so sorry about that, but I deleted it for a very good reason. One is because they're, even though I do put some effort into them, and even though I do my research, the problem is a lot of them did not have references, a lot of them, they were not well made. You know, now that I have more time, I do have a job, I do go to school, but I have more time now. So now that I have more time, I can finally make videos of what I want. So this is my first episode, and this is talking about Thunder Hawk, T-Hawk from Street Fighter 2. And let's begin right about now.
Instead of using the original Japanese sources, I will mostly focus on the American sources since I'm not fluent in Japanese yet. I will use a few Japanese sources, but only those that I can comprehend. I apologize for any inconvenience. According to the Super Street Fighter 2 manual for the SNES, his homeland was taken away by the Shadow Law and forced him and his family to move to Mexico. In the 3DO Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo manual, his father's last hope was to return to their sacred homeland. Street Fighter 4's official guide reveals that his father, Arroyo Hawk, was murdered by Bison, or Vega if you're from Japan. In all manuals, it is clear that T-Hawk's main purpose is to regain his homeland. There's a bit of an inconsistency about his nationality. Most of the early manuals imply that he's originally from the United States. However, according to the official Street Fighter 4 guide and Capcom.co.jp, his nationality is Mexican. This is somewhat confusing because in page 316 of the book called All About Capcom, Head-to-Head Fighting Games 1987 to 2000, it says that he's originally from the Sonora Desert. The Sonora Desert extends from Sonora, Mexico to Southern California and Southwest Arizona. Even though Thunder Hawk's tribe is fictional, I still want to make some comparisons to real-life tribes of that region and see if it's accurately portrayed. Thunder Hawk wears a very stereotypical attire but not so inaccurate. Most of his clothing is typical of people of that region. The jeans, belt buckle, boots and even vest are just regular clothing you see in northern Mexico and West Texas. However, his headband, face paint and those things on his legs are not typical. In the Sonora Desert, you got a variety of different tribes before colonization. Those tribes were the Pima, Tono Odam, Seri, Mayo, Yaqui, and Opata. There may have been other tribes, but I'll stick to these 6 for the video. I don't know what those things on his legs are called, but I'll just call them leg things for the sake of this video. Those leg things that he wears are typically seen among Mesoamerican dancers and Plains tribe dancers. Yaqui from southern Arizona wears these leg things, but as you can see they're very different from the ones T-Hawk uses. In fact, the whole attire is different. Granted, T-Hawk does not have a traditional attire, but he does have leg things, face paint and headband. From what we can see, no similarities between him and the Yaqui. This takes us to the Tohono-O'odham of southern Arizona border. Again, no similarities at all. What about the Opata of northern Sonora? I can't seem to find any photos of them. Then you have the Mayo tribe of the Sonora Valley. Again, a major disappointment. The Seri of Sonora did wear face paint, but it looks nothing like that of T-Hawk. The last tribe that we will cover for that region is the Pima, and again, major disappointment. In every single one of these tribes, they did not wear the specific headband, face paint, or leg things seen on T-Hawk. In fact, T-Hawk strongly resembles a mixture of Mesoamerican and Plains tribe attire. As stated before, his leg things are often seen in Mesoamerican dancers and Plains tribe dancers. I did find a few pics in other North American tribes wearing a headband with feathers. However, those feathers were never commonly used in that fashion. According to nativelanguages.org, this style of headband was typically only used by a few tribes of the northeast woodland. The eagle feathers that he wears are typically found in lots of Plains tribes like the Sioux, Apache, Navajo, etc., and they're usually worn by warriors. T-Hawk also has these circles at the sides of his headband, and those are usually used for Mesoamerican ear flaps. As for his face paint, Native Americans had a huge variety of face paint. Usually when they use white, they cover their faces with that color. You do find a few instances of lines, but those lines are usually red. I did find a few instances of white face paint lines, but those are seen on Australian Aborigines, which have nothing to do with Native Americans. There are so many variations of face paint that I cannot pinpoint exactly what I'm looking for. In any case, T Hawk's representation of a Sonora Desert Aboriginal is inaccurate. It does not stop there. In Street Fighter 4's T Hawk's prologue, you get to see how his village looks like. Teepees were never used by any of the Sonora tribes I've mentioned before. In fact, teepees were used by nomadic tribes like the Sioux. Most of the tribes of Sonora Desert had some form of agriculture, and there was no need for them to migrate anywhere. The Seri were semi-nomadic. Finally, I want to talk about the stages in Street Fighter Alpha 3 and Street Fighter 2. The stage in Street Fighter Alpha 3 takes place in the canyons. Sonora does not have any canyons, instead they have mountains, and the canyons of Mexico look nothing like this in the game stage. In fact, the canyons in the game look a lot like the canyons you see in Utah and California. As for the plant life, that is pretty accurate. This type of cacti is often found in Sonora Desert. The stage in Super Street Fighter 2 clearly takes place further south. In the book, All About Capcom Head-to-Head Fighting, it says that T-Hawk resides in Motel Bound Place, which is located in Oaxaca, but that is an archaeological site. Not to mention that there is a very famous building in the background of the stage known as Hospicios Cabañas, which is located in Guadalajara. I can't even begin to tell you what is wrong with this. For one, these people look like Aztecs based on their attire. Aztecs live further south like Mexico City, Guerrero, and Pueblo, but it's possible that they could be Tlaxcalans since Tlaxcalans did live in the Jalisco region. But even if that's the case, the Tecuaches and Cocas were the primary inhabitants of Guadalajara and did not wear these clothes. For the sake of argument, let's assume that these are Aztecs despite the fact they carried the celebrations primarily in south central Mexico. There are a couple of inaccuracies I want to get out. First off, the feathers are wrong. The Aztecs, or the Mexicas they call themselves, usually wear turkey feathers and in rare cases quetzal feathers. They also do not wear ponchos, baggy shorts or anything like that, but that's beside the point. Modern Aztecs are contemporary, so it really doesn't matter.
Well, that's the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. But before I go, I would like to give a shout out to My One English. She only has a few videos, but most of her videos are English lessons for Japanese speakers. However, it is also beneficial for English speakers as well if you enjoy Japanese language or culture. I'll leave an annotation for her channel up above my screen and leave a link on the subbar as well. I also have 3 more announcements to make. I have another channel called The Ugly Prince, which I will put the annotation down below here. And it will be mostly about things that are completely unrelated to this channel. I'll also be remaking some more older videos because I was unhappy with the poor quality. And finally, I want to talk about the next episode, which will be about Rick Stroud from Real Battle Fatal Fury 2. And that's it And that's it for now. I look forward to seeing you guys in 2 to 3 weeks. Yawatel, Shawatel, Panish.